Hey everybody, what's up? We are back with another video, and today I have the brand new elongated double black diamond from 6-0. Now pretty much everything about this is the same as the original double black diamond except for the shape and the 15mm core, whereas the original double black diamond came in both a 16 and 14mm core. So the length of the elongated double black diamond is 16.6 inches, whereas the original double black diamond was 16.3 inches. So if you're gonna hold this up to, say, the Perseus from Yola, that shape, you're gonna find that the handle is a little bit longer, but overall, the entire length, it's only 0.1 inches longer, so it's barely even noticeable. Now, because the length is longer, the width is shorter. The original double black diamond had a width of 7.5 to 7.7 inches, whereas the elongated double black diamond has a width of anywhere from 7.2 to 7.4 inches. And that variation just comes from inconsistencies in the manufacturing process. Now, as I said, the grip is technically on the spec sheet 6 inches long, though if you are going to wrap it up, you can see that the handle tapers quite a bit. So you can really get it to about 7 inches in terms of usable handle length if you want to get 2 hands on the paddle. Also, due to its elongated shape, the sweet spot is going to be a bit higher on this paddle versus the original double black diamond, which would be more center, still a little bit raised above the middle, but more center on the paddle face. In terms of the 15mm core, of course, right between the 14 and 16mm core, I can't feel a massive difference from either of the two. Again, it's just somewhere in between, not to the point though where it's like you can really tell that there's a huge difference. Again, it's only 1mm difference, and it's in between that 14 to 16. Usually paddles will have 2 to 3 millimeters in difference, such as the Engage Pro 1, which has a 13mm core, and then the Pro 1 6.0, which has a 60mm core. So that difference in thickness is a lot smaller from this between both of the original double black diamonds and the 14 and 16mm core sizes. I did think this paddle felt quite stiff, and that could just be because I'm now used to playing with a lot of the Gen 3 technology paddles. For example, I just used the Rongless Ripple. I've been playing with the Mod TA15 a lot, and so those feel a lot bouncier and a lot more trampoline-y, whereas this really is still that standard Gen 2 technology. It's just a lot stiffer than the Gen 3 with the different kinds of cores and the extra foam. However, this paddle is still under $200 at $189.99, so you really can't complain, whereas the Mod TA15 comes in at $280 and the Gearbox Pro Ultimate $275, and so on. So with this paddle, it's not like you're paying a super premium price to get a Gen 2. You're still paying a reasonable price, especially considering the original double black diamond is $180. I think that this shape is geared more towards tennis players, and not necessarily only tennis players, but I do think tennis players find this more comfortable just because it's a bit longer, of course, getting closer to a tennis racket, and the sweet spot is a bit higher up on the paddle face. A lot of times when people just switch from tennis to pickleball for the first time, they're missing shots because they feel like the paddle is not as long as it should be, so something like this is going to alleviate that a little bit. I think if you're a fan of Gen 2 paddles, or somebody who really loves the original black diamond, or even the ruby, but want an elongated handle, then this is of course going to be a good option to look at. It's not overly powerful, it's not overly soft. Again, it's just somewhere in the middle with that 15mm core. And I think that stiff, kind of crisp feel translates into good responsiveness when making contact with the ball. Now, another fairly big difference between this elongated version, the original double black diamond, is of course going to be the swing weight and the twist weight. So the swing weight, as listed on 6-0's website, in the original double black diamond came in at 113, whereas this, the elongated version, has a swing weight of 118. So it's higher, it's not insanely higher. There's quite a few paddles out there nowadays that are over 120. This is still under 120, but it is going to be a little bit slower at the net. Now, a bigger difference would be in the twist weight, whereas the original double black diamond had a twist weight of 6.8. This comes in at 5.85. So it might be a good idea, if you are going to use this paddle, to add lead tape to either side or at the throat. Of course, you can go all the way around if you want. Some people do that, but because of its low twist weight, it might be worth stabilizing, because I did notice, especially with the longer handle, it's a little bit harder to hold this paddle steady if you're really reaching and trying to stop a really hard drive or another powerful shot. This paddle has an average weight of 8.1 ounces. If you are someone who's really sensitive with weight and likes their paddle to be as light as possible, you're not going to be able to get something like 7.7 with this. It's just not possible. Though with most paddles being 8 ounces on average, I don't think 8.1 is that crazy. And honestly, quite a few paddles fall within that range these days. If you do want to get this paddle, you can get it 10% off from picklemadness.com. Just check the description below for a link and a code. If you like this video, please leave a like, leave a comment, and if you're a former or current 6-0 double black diamond user, let me know what you think of this. Please make sure to subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.